here crying because somebody is in the Bentley that you told the whole church was mine. But Reverend Atiba, they might be in the car, but are they moving? Can they take it anywhere? Can they drive it to any destination? However, you have the keys to move it to wherever you want to go. But all you have to do is tell them to get out because you have ownership of what I've given you. Oh God. God says, I've given you the keys. I've given you the deed. I've given you the title. I've given you the insurance. It's time for you to kick some devils out and get in your blessing and drive to your destination and tell the devil, get out. Look at your neighbor and say, the devil's gonna have to get out of this stuff. God done promised me some houses, and God done promised me some promotions. God done promised me some things, and there just happens to be some folks in my stuff, but I'm here to tell the devil, you gotta get out. Moses is sitting here with the title, keys, and the deed to a land flowing with milk and honey. And he lets 10 bad folks that have no vision and don't listen to the word every Sunday of when Moses has been preaching for the last 40 years to get what was theirs. And 10 of them come back with a bad report that yes, surely it flowed with milk and honey. Surely the fruit was so big we had to carry grapes on our backs. The problem is that there's some giants in the land. Hold on. I told you the land was yours. And I never mentioned the giant. Why are you coming back to me telling me about something that was never in the word that I gave you? Why are you coming to God telling him about somebody in the position that he's already promised you? I'm sorry you're in the position, but God promised me this thing, so I'm not even going to waste my time talking about you. I'm just going to wait till God moves you so I can get in my right and respectful place. Surely there's the scholarship, but they said you need a 3.5, and I got a 3.4. Well, how about they didn't have enough people to apply for the scholarship? And they said the first report card that comes in here, transcript that comes in here, no matter what the GPA says, because we have nobody else, I'm going to put them through it. But you so stuck on what the enemy said that you're missing your blessing. Oh God. God says, I got some scholarships I want to give out to some young people just because they live in the inner city, just because they're black, just because they're a minority. But you telling me about giants in the land and you fail to understand I promised this thing to you. Well, there's 3 bids on the house. So I guess this ain't your will, God. And God says there's 3 bids on the house, but all 3 of them gonna fall through, and they gonna drop the price just for you. But God, this lady been here 20 years and got a master's degree, and I just got my poor little tiny bachelor's. Forget that, I had a high school diploma. Well, there's something that's getting ready to happen. I wrote a 40-page paper on this. And what they are planning for is what they call succession planning. Those born between 1946 and 1964 are getting ready to retire by the masses in the next 20 years, which means that they're going to have jobs available for those of you young people that were born after those years. All you need to do now is start applying because somebody's getting ready to retire, but you telling him about the giants in the land. Tell enemies to get out. That's right. You better preach up in here. So now I love that. That lets me know somebody young listening. So now we see here that God gets so upset with this generation who kept coming into a promise but kept telling him about what was there, that he told them, I'll take you to the brink of it, but you'll never see it. And what you have seen in your lives are people that have got to the brink of promises and have never seen it because they constantly complain to God about the things that was in something that he already promised. Now is not the time to complain. Now is the time to praise the Lord. Get ready to go somewhere here. So God raises up Joshua, and I'm going to close in about 10 minutes. He raises up Joshua, and he says, Joshua, Moses is dead. And the generation that was with him that kept telling me about the giants is dead now too. But I still have a promise for you. Because the promise does not stop at one generation. If a generation fails, the promise still stands. That's why you're living in places that some of our ancestors cleaned. You're living in townships and environments that some of our ancestors before us had to work on because they could not see themselves in the promise. And there are so many folks that had the potential for greatness but never walked into the full potential because of a giant that they seen that never was a concern. So God now grabs a man that's strong enough and wise enough to understand, I don't care what's in the land. I know what God said. We now see here that he gathers up the people of God. And he says, people of God, we're getting ready to go to our destination, and I need you to be ready. Because we're getting ready to tackle some feats that the generations before us has never been able to step on. God is getting ready to prepare this generation right here to step on new grounds that generations before you have never stepped on. But God says, I need you to be encouraged. I need you to be strong in the Lord. I need you to understand my word will never come back to me void. And if you don't do it, I'll find somebody else that'll do it. But I need somebody that's strong in this church, that's strong in this place right now, that says, God, I'm going to do it. I'm going to finish high school. I'm going to finish college. I'm going to go to grad school. I'm going to get my PhD. I'm going to be somebody because the sky is the limit for my promise. They now get to the brink of the promise. And when they get to the brink of the promise, they come to a place by the name of the Jordan. The Jordan translated in the Hebrew means to descend or to die, which means that in order for me to get to my destination, I might end up dying trying to get there. Yes. This thing is so hard that I'm going to die getting there. But God says, no, I'm going to do a miracle. Get you some worshipers and put them in front of you. Get the rest of the folks to stand behind the worshipers. And when the worshipers open their mouths, I'm going to open up death to bring you to the other side. I wish I had some worshipers in this place tonight that can open their mouths to open up death traps, open up things that's supposed to kill you, open up drug dealers that's supposed to take your life, and let them